A suspect in the recent school burglaries was caught and arrested. A father gets a big payout after buying a lottery ticket in Beaufort, and the historic district makes the cut on the list for the top 10 great neighborhoods. We'll bring you those details. All that and much more. Keep watching Beaufort. Your news starts now. Thanks for joining us for the Beaufort News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, and here are your local headlines. A suspect sought in the recent burglary at Coosa Elementary School has been arrested. 21-year-old Cody Avil Perkins of Beaufort was arrested in Jasper County and transferred to the Beaufort County Detention Center. Perkins was wanted on 2 counts of second-degree burglary for the break-ins at Ladies Island Middle School and Coosa Elementary School. The suspects were caught on tape during the break-ins. Investigators are currently working to identify additional suspects. A man was arrested by Beaufort police recently on several charges after trying to flee from police. Terrell Blake was arrested on charges including driving under the influence, failure to stop for blue lights, fleeing to evade, and simple possession of marijuana. Police said Blake crashed and then was apprehended and arrested. Blake was transported to Beaufort Memorial Hospital for possible injuries, was then released and booked in a Beaufort County Detention Center. Charges are pending the further investigation. Protesters gathered in front of Beaufort City Hall to protest civilian furloughs recently. Those protesters, which were almost all civilian employees, were representing the local chapter of the American Federation of Government Employees Union. Those protesters say they are already living paycheck to paycheck, and because of the furloughs, they're in worse financial condition than ever. The government shutdown continues to cause unrest for many of the employees in Beaufort. A father won a huge payout after stopping at a gas station in Beaufort recently. The $200,000 lottery prize was won after a cash bash ticket was purchased as part of the South Carolina Education Lottery. The father was traveling to South Carolina for his son's Marine Corps graduation when he stopped to buy the ticket. The ticket was purchased for $10 at the Amico Food Shop on Boundary Street. One restaurant in the area is giving customers a break because of the government shutdown. Fat Patty's in Port Royal is offering all-day specials and is now offering a 25% discount to all military and government employees. The discount is available 7 days a week until the shutdown ends. The restaurant supports many military families here in Beaufort. Sand fleas and mosquitoes are in abundance again in Beaufort. Thankfully, the Parris Island Marine Corps Recruit Depot is scheduled to undergo aerial spraying in an effort to control the growing population. Insecticides are used, but the Environmental Protection Agency says they present no threat to humans, plants, or animals in the area. The spraying will occur beginning this week through the 18th as weather permits. Hundreds of Beaufort County animals are headed up north for a special Beaufort County Animal Shelter project. The project, called Operation Special Delivery, allows shelters in the area to send pets to places where they'll have a better chance of being adopted. The cats and dogs first have a veterinarian visit, then go to Atlanta, New Jersey, and even New York. Altogether, they will transport more than 200 animals. It's been a tough season for shrimpers as fuel costs have driven prices up, but the weekend brought many out to the 19th annual Beaufort Shrimp Festival at the Henry Chambers Waterfront Park. Festival goers got to taste local shrimp, listen to live music, and participate in a shrimp peeling contest. The festival helped raise awareness for the shrimping industry in Beaufort and in South Carolina, and it provided an economic boost for the local stores and restaurants. And here's what's happening around the state. 4 teens have been arrested in connection with the assault and armed robbery of a 57-year-old male. 2 15-year-olds and a 14-year-old were arrested and transferred to the Department of Justice in Columbia after assaulting a man and demanding his money. They'll be charged as juveniles for this armed robbery and first-degree assault and battery. The 16-year-old Gianni Clark of Dale was also arrested and charged with the same offenses. Clark will be tried as an adult. The government shutdown is making it harder for South Carolina families who rely on WIC to put food on the table. The South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control say WIC benefits will run out in less than 2 weeks. For mothers who still have WIC vouchers, keep using them. Stores will honor them until October 15th. More than 120,000 South Carolinians are currently dependent on WHIC, and more than 26,000 of them are from the Lowcountry. If you'd like additional information on these headlines, please reference the media sources you see listed on your screen. Also, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. When we return, Kayla Logue will join us with details on Beaufort's most recent accolade, and Will Wareham has a business report that is just around the corner, so stay with us.
Lowcountry Real Estate is located in historic downtown Beaufort, home to one of the most attractive real estate markets in America. We've been providing high-quality service to our community for the past 24 years. Whether you're interested in buying or selling residential, resort, or commercial investment property, our professional sales staff can help you with your real estate needs. Please visit lowcountryrealestate.com for details on all available properties in Beaufort, and come see how the Lowcountry becomes you.
Welcome back to the Beaufort News. Kayla Logue joins us first with our hot off the press report. Miss Kayla, it's a pleasure to have you again. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So Kayla, I understand there's some construction that will take place at the military housing communities. So what can you tell us about this story?
Well, Laurel Bay will have 42 outdated homes torn down and rebuilt for employees of the Beaufort military installations. It is a $12 million project that will replace 60-year-old homes with modern single-family duplexes. The new homes will be energy efficient, and the majority of the debris from the construction will be recycled.
Okay, great information. So when is the construction going to start?
Well, the process of tearing down the homes is actually in the plans to begin within 6 to 8 months, but the actual construction will begin 18 months to 2 years later.
All right, we'll look for that to get going. So now this next story is super exciting. The Beaufort Historic District made the top 10 great neighborhoods. So what an honor for Beaufort. Tell us a little bit about this story.
Well, it earned it not only because of its natural beauty but it was also because of the residents. The main consideration for the list comes from interviews and surveys done by the residents of the neighborhood.
Okay, so another great accomplishment for Beaufort. Now let's get to this last story on a different note. Let's talk about the furloughed Beaufort base workers that have been rallying recently. Can you give us some information about this story?
The furloughed members from the U.S. Department of Defense from around Beaufort area rallied outside of City Hall due to federal government shutdown. They rallied in hope of support for the 1,500 area employees that have furloughed indefinitely.
Okay, and it's such a concerning story. I know Beaufort City Hall has got to be concerned. What was their response to all this?
Well, Mark Sanford, the representative for Beaufort County, believes there are no quick solutions to the problem because if Congress does not return to the normal budget, then more shutdowns and rallies will occur.
All right, Kayla. Well, hopefully those workers will be back to work soon. We'll see what happens. We'll have to check back with you. As always, an informative report. Thank you, Kayla Logue, for our hot off the press report. Joining us now for our business report is WHHI's own Will Wareham. I know a number of new businesses have opened their doors in Beaufort recently, so tell us a little bit about these new businesses, if you would.
Absolutely, Jessa. So residents of Beaufort and visitors shopping downtown Beaufort will see some new storefronts popping up and open for business. On Bay Street, All of the Above is open. All of the Above is a purveyor of gourmet olive oils and vinegars, and they opened their doors last month. At 821 Bay Street, so check them out. Just down the street, across the street, is a new store called Monkey's Uncle. Monkey's Uncle offers children's books and toys, and they're located at 808 Bay Street. Just a little bit further down Bay Street, New Beginnings on Bay is open at 720 Bay Street, and they offer some more eclectic choices for women's clothing and accessories. Also on Bay Street is a new store called Bay Street Treasures. They're in the old Greenfish Gallery building. A little bit further up the road, Burlap Cafe, Bakery, and Gifts is a new restaurant and bakery from our friends at Southern Graces. Burlap offers breakfast and lunch and is located in the old Fried Green Tomatoes building next to the Quality Inn, 2001 Boundary Street, and that's a fantastic new restaurant. And a little bit further up the road on Robert Smalls Parkway, the Liquidators Clothesline is open for business. And the Liquidators Clothesline offers brand name clothing, shoes, and accessories for women, men, and children at discounted prices. So be sure to check them out when you're shopping for clothes. Liquidators Clothesline offers big city fashions at discount prices. So welcome to all of the above.
All right, well, some awesome new businesses for locals to check out, and what a great sign that all of these new businesses are opening here in town. So we look forward to checking those out. All right, Will Wareham, that's our business report. Thank you so much for the update. Thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you, Jessa.
Coming up, we have Friends of the Spanish Moss Trail joining us to tell us about their 10-phase master plan. And we have USCB here to tell us about their latest program update. The Beaufort News. We'll be right back.
Allison Ramsey Architects believes that good design is a result of a collaborative effort between the architect, the builder, and most importantly, the client. The Low Country lifestyle incorporates all aspects of the home, and good design reflects the character of a family. No longer items of luxury, good design is standard. Let us help you craft a home built with everyday living in mind. Allison Ramsey Architects, creating sustainable, timeless design.
Welcome back to the Beaufort News. We are joined now by our newsmaker from Friends of the Spanish Moss Trail, Miss Jane Frederick, here to tell us how the Spanish Moss Trail is moving ahead. So welcome, Jane. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you coming on. And Jane, first I want to ask you, for viewers who don't know, tell us just a little bit about the Spanish Moss Trail and how it benefits the greater community here in Beaufort.
The Spanish Moss Trail is a multi-use rails trail project. It was on the abandoned spur line that went from Yemassee to Port Royal. It's a linear park owned by Beaufort County, and we are, it is a 12-foot wide paved path for bicyclers, roller skaters, walkers. I see children on there that are learning to ride their bicycles, so it's a great community asset. You get out and you get to talk to your neighbors as you're walking by them, so you're really engaging your fellow citizens in town when you're out on the trail.
All right, and talk to me a little bit more about this 10-phase master plan. What is the current status of this plan, and just what's next for the trail in general?
Okay, well, it's moving ahead really quickly thanks to the Cox Foundation and the PATH Foundation out of Atlanta. We put in the first model mile a year ago, and it's just been tremendously popular. The county is working on a phase that will start in first part of next year, which will, the first part of the first mile went from the depot to Allison Road, and that's right there behind the Technical College of the Low Country and sort of across from the hospital. Then the next phase that's being put in goes from Allison Road down to Rebo Road, and that's 2.3 miles, and that's under construction right now. And that's also to a matching grant from the Cox Foundation. The Cox Foundation put in the first mile, and then they had a matching grant for that second section that's going in. The county has a federal grant that's going from the depot out to Paris Island Gateway. So that's a pretty big section, and that will be really nice because it will connect you all the way from Port Royal out to Paris Island Gateway. Right now we're working on a matching a 3-to-1 grant for Paris Island Gateway out to Laurel Bay, and that will cross Albuquerque Creek. So this is the grant that the matching grant we're working on right now.
All right, Jane. Well, lots of exciting things to look forward to at the Spanish Moss Trail. Thanks so much to the Friends of the Spanish Moss Trail, and thank you to you, Jane Frederick, for your report.
Oh, thank you. And if you'd like to give a contribution, go to our website, which is www.spanishmosstrail.com.
Joining us now is newsmaker Kasia Pawlek, who joins us from the USCB Professor's Research Program. So welcome today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Kasia, talk to me a little bit about your research interests at USCB, and just give us a little background.
My research focuses on developing mathematical models to study virus infections such as influenza and West Nile virus.
Okay, and talk to me a little bit about your research with undergraduate students specifically and how this relates to your program.
I supervise research with undergraduate students working on multiple projects, which I tailor towards their interests and career aspirations. And they are working on West Nile virus projects and influenza projects, and I apply for grants to support their stipends, and they are and prepare them for research presentations at the conferences and in the community.
Okay, very interesting. And talk to me about the relevance between your research and how it just relates to the region in this area. So tell me about that.
I collaborate with the Beaufort County Mosquito Control, and our focus is to optimize the control strategies against the population of mosquitoes which are responsible for the spread of the West Nile virus in our area. And we are looking at the impact of natural factors such as temperature and rainfall and climate changes on the mosquito habitat. And this research is supported by the Sea Islands Institute grant and Magellan Scholarship.
Okay, so certainly relevant, especially this time of year as they're trying to control the population more and more. So talk to me with that in mind a little bit about your students' achievements. Can you tell us what you guys have done this year?
My students received Magellan Scholarships, which are competitive awards given to students to work with the faculty members on research, and it's available for all of the University of South Carolina campuses. They have won first prizes for the best posters presentations at the Discovery Day at USC in Columbia and Research and Scholarship Day at USCB. They are also very much involved within USCB as a president of Gamma Beta Phi National Society and vice president of Association for Computing Machinery student chapter, and president of Mathematical Biology Journal Club and Seminar Series. And they also present at the conferences and in our community.
All right, well, what a great program and such an interesting newsmaker, Kasha Pawlik from USCB. Thanks for your time today. After the break, we have an out and about report that you won't want to miss, and we have Councilman Joe Lee with a Port Royal update, so stick around.
Welcome to the town of Port Royal, located along the Intercoastal Waterway and Battery Creek in the heart of South Carolina's Lowcountry. One of America's leaders in small-town new urbanism, where visitors enjoy shopping and dining, and residents appreciate the tranquility of a quiet walking village. Come experience the hospitality and growth of a beautiful coastal community. Come experience the opportunities of Port Royal, South Carolina.
Welcome back to the Beaufort News. Joining us now for our Port Royal report is Councilman Joe Lee. Welcome, Joe.
Good to see you, Jessa.
Nice to see you too, and thanks for joining us today. Now, tell me a little bit about this Jazz in the Park that is coming up. What can you talk to us about with this?
Well, we're really excited. It's a whole new adventure. Saturday, October the 12th, 6 to 8, we're going to have a jazz concert in the skateboard park at Naval Heritage Park, where the farmers market usually is held. This is an offshoot of the farmers market, where performers that perform during the farmers market, people would like to see more of these people perform. So we're going to set up a concert just for that group of performers. It's a whole new idea, and we're going to try it and see how it works.
All right, and you mentioned the performers from the farmers market. So who are these performers that are going to be out here for this event?
Well, we're going to start this with a group called the Horizon, and the exciting thing about them is they're all students that have graduated from Beaufort High School. They're now in college, and their leader is the professor or the teacher they had at Port Royal Music Academy. So these students have played together for several years, and in fact, as I said, they're out of college and come back this weekend for this concert. They have careers. They're studying accounting and different careers in college, but they love the jazz music and they love to perform. And so we wanted to give them this forum. And the group is called Horizon, and they have CD out. And we want to focus on this group and give them a chance to get some exposure.
All right, sounds good. Sounds like a very interesting group. Now, is there anything else that is special about this event in particular?
Well, I think what we hope to do is, if it's successful and it's free, you come 6 to 8 in the evening, bring your chairs. They will have snacks for sale and drinks for sale. And if this is successful, like we think it will be, we will start featuring local performers that don't normally have a venue. It's very simple, plenty of parking, and almost an all-weather venue because we can go inside the skateboard park.
All right, well, I hope that works out. That would be lots of fun and sounds like a very exciting event. We look forward to Jazz in the Park. So, Councilman Joe Lee, thank you so much for our Port Royal report.
Thank you, Jessa.
WHHI is on location to tell us what's out and about in Beaufort this week. Here's Low Country Weekly with that report.
Well, thanks a lot. The Fripp Island Friends of Music kick off a new season with folk duo Mustard's Retreat coming up soon. They'll be opening for Peter Yarrow on their way to the Fripp gig. Pretty good. So guitarists David Tamulovich and Michael Huff are grounded in the early traditional 60s folk music and the songwriters of that time. But their shows do feature a good blend of music, old and new, and a big dash of storytelling. Mustard Retreat plays Sunday the 20th at 5 p.m. at the Fripp Island Community Center. Tickets are available at the door. They're $25 for adults, $10 for students. There is a catered reception with the band afterwards. That is included. You can call 838-6655 for more information. Now, Charleston's Bill Patton brings his one-man show, One for the Road, to Artworks the last weekend of October. Patton wrote the play about an actor contemplating his own fate. Not surprising. I'm terrified, he says, by the knowledge that one day I will lose the ability to choose. Charleston City Paper says, quote, Patton's candor and humor create a compelling intimacy with his audience. This confession becomes another way of saying that life is just too important to take all that seriously, unquote. Bill Patton has One for the Road in the Black Box Theater at Artworks the 25th through the 27th. For more information, call 379-2787 or visit artworksinbeaufort.org. And finally, October 26th, the USCB Center for the Arts launches its Capital Improvement Campaign by hosting an evening with Pat Conroy. The event also celebrates the advanced release of Conroy's new memoir, The Death of Santini, the story of a father and his son. Conroy will speak as only he can. Afterwards, there will be a reception at the historic 1780 Barnwell House across the street. A $150 ticket gets you reserved seating, a signed copy of the new book, and into the reception with the offer. General admission is $100. Now, for more information about an evening with Pat Conroy, call Bonnie Hargrove at 521-4145 or visit uscbcenterforthearts.com. Pick up a free copy of Low Country Weekly and click on lcweekly.com to get what's inside and find out what's out and about. Back to you.
Thanks to Low Country Weekly for our Out and About report, and thank you for watching. I'm Jessa Jeremiah. Join us next time for your Beaufort News.